I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the final Friday night program of the 2018 season. Friday night, 7 o'clock post, August the 31st.
I like the Friday nights. I'll miss them.
They've been fun.
It's been a good run. And then, of course, so we race Friday night. Yeah. We don't race again until Wednesday. We race next Wednesday, and then, of course, the following weekend, Saturday, Sunday will be Derby weekend, BC Derby weekend, the biggest day of the year. We get the Derby, the Oaks, the two older horse stakes, the two futurities. Awesome card coming up there. But of course, we race Friday, Wednesday, then next weekend. So a little bit of a strange one.
Greg Tracy's brought Raider. For the BC Oaks, she's on the grounds right now. Robertino Diodoro, of course, has brought the Canadian Derby winner, Sky Promise.
Yep.
He's currently
Mario Gutierrez coming up with Canadian Game for Paul Redham.
Yeah, going to be exciting. Lots of stakes races on the program, and some interesting.
He's won 2 Kentucky Derbies for Paul Redham. Now he's going to try and tick off that big box, the BC Derby,
old Kentucky
with American
BC Derby double
Canadian Game. As Mike mentioned, 7 races on the Friday night card. It kicks off, as he said, at 7 o'clock. Let's get right into it. The first is a maiden 25 for 2-year-olds going 6.5 furlongs. I went to the 2-horse. To you?
Tui? I don't know. Tui? I'm going Tui.
Tui. I went to Tui, the 2-horse. The Tui. Out of the Mike Anderson barn for Jamie Dimitrick. Well-bred daughter of Gio Ponte. Quiet American mare. Good breeding. Nice, solid works out of a good win early barn. Lopez rides in kind of a race where you can make a case for a bunch of them. I went to Tui. On top of Blondie. Mark Cluche is having a very strong year. Really good year with his 2-year-olds as well. This one he started out in maiden special weight, a little dip down to 25, and the extra half furlong. Well-bred daughter of Stay Thirsty. I love Stay Thirsty, and an extra half furlong is going to do her a lot of good. Amadeo Perez takes the call, him and Mark Luce, high percentage together. And I put in the Robbie Anderson horse, Kensington Market, out of that good mare, Go Sail Go. This one's tried a couple of tough maiden races, a 3.5, 6, another one that should be better at a 6.5 distance in a pretty tough race to kick off the early pick 4. I went 2, 1, and 7.
Yeah, there's not a lot of form to go on, and the horses that have raced did not race particularly well.
Yeah.
Some of them maybe at not their best distance of 3.5, so it's really hard to tell which one's going to move forward. And looking at the work patterns on a lot of these horses, they're not fast, and there's nothing really to tip you off as to see it.
Nothing jumps out as like, oh, this one.
Basically, it is kind of a confusing race, and it's funny, odd, we often end up on different horses, but this race we do end up on the same ones. I went to the one Blondie. Looks like probably the inside speed. Didn't get a great trip around the first turn, was carried out, and didn't get the lead, was in a tough position. The Harlan's Angel race might prove to be a pretty live one. Has come back with a good work in 102 and change, and has the rail, why not? And I put the 7-horse Kensington Market in for second for the reason you mentioned. Another one that has had 2 tough maiden races, drops into a maiden claimer, and maybe she's got the pedigree. Mass Market, Go Sail Go, and she too has worked well since her last race, and I agree with the Tui. To the Mike Anderson barn, good work tab, well bred. We'll see if the filly can run a little bit. I went 1, 7, and 2 in the Friday night opener. On the second race, maiden $4,000 claimers going 6.5 furlongs. I ended up on the 4-horse Transplant in here. It's been a private purchase since his last race, and the horse seemed to run well. Run a good second behind Red Buffalo. It wasn't the toughest maiden 8, which was explained the horse going down for the 4,000. But if the horse repeats that race, I would think the horse has to win the race, and his numbers are the best, and Transplant should win it. But these maidens don't always reproduce the races all the time. I put the 3-horse Anzac Day, who had a dreadful trip last time, acted up in the gate too, which kind of was his own fault, but ran a little bit wide throughout. Still was a good second behind Bionic, and I thought there was lots to like about Anzac Day. Just got to be a little better behaved. And the 6-horse Kaki's Command, claimed by Glenn Todd. Not often this outfit claims horses in the $4,000 ranks, but opted to claim this maiden out of a non-2 lifetime, and we'll see if this horse moves up a little bit. And if it does, it can win. I mean, I went 4, 3, 6, but I think all 3 are very equal in ability. You're splitting hairs here with the 4, 3, and 6.
Yeah, this is a race. I mean, this could even almost be an all-button race. I went to Kaki's Command. The Glenn Todd, always very good off the claim. This little guy was running. He ran third against Desi, and Got My Mo. We were in third behind Got My Mo, and Bow Chicka Wow Wow came back to win a 16. Coat of Arms, who was in that race, ran third. Last time, as you mentioned, in a non-2, he didn't run very good. But he'd run a 44 and a 45 bar before that, would put him right in the mix here.
Well, the sharp connections too, and they probably were watching the horse too. Losing to Coat of Arms, losing to Got My Mo. So they've seen
two
the
of his horses.
of times.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why he went for this one, Kaki's Command. So he had his eye on him. So I got Kaki's Command on top of Transplant, your top pick of the Deidre Bell Bar. No reason this one can't win, as you mentioned. Come off a good second behind Red Buffalo. And I threw in a Wild Woman out of the Jim Strachan Bar. This one might be a little bit of a long shot. But I thought a big effort. Her first start, she was hooked the whole way, which, usually with these young horses, her first start, they'll kind of get gassed and pack it in, and she never did. Only got beat a neck.
Right.
Went up to a maiden 8, which was considerably tougher. Did not run any good at all, but maybe bounced a little bit off that. Now back in for 4, gets her legs on a little bit more. There's some talent there, and this filly's going to be a price. So another one I'm going to throw in there. I went 6, 4, and 1 in the second race for me. On to the third, fillies and mares. $4,000 claimant event. I went to the 6th. Beloved Betty came here, another Glenn Todd horse. Claimed her out of Churchill Downs for $5,000. Ran second that day. Got a 57 buyer. Excuse me. Came here, ran a really good second for $62.50 behind a very tough mare in Tattooed Kitty. Now she goes in for 4. No reason that Beloved Betty shouldn't dominate this field. I have her on top of Don't Tell Judy, who won for $62.50 2 starts ago, then went long in the BC Cup Distaff. You can toss that race. Now she's back in for 4, and she should be heard from in here as well. And I threw in Fire Beauty for third, just because she's got a lot of back class, has not been running that well this year, and she won last time, and she could move forward off of that just because of the back class. I went 6, 2, and 5.
I agree with the 6, Beloved Betty. I mean, it's her race to win or lose. Pretty comfortable second last time behind Tattooed Kitty, as you mentioned, and streaking and running good races.
Really tough at this level.
Just the top 62.50 mare at Hastings right now. And good work in 47 flat, so the horse is obviously doing well. And Beloved Betty is definitely the horse to beat. I put the 4-horse Shayla's Rose in the mix. No pace to run at really last time. And maybe with our Benita Rose showing speed, Don't Tell Judy, and Fire Beauty, maybe things get crazy. But I mean, this horse does need some breaks to win it. But I still like her to be on the board. And I put the 2-horse Don't Tell Judy on the class drop back in with the lower end mares where she should be. And but she'd been running well at the 62.50 level. Did defeat Shayla's Rose in a Star to Be 2 starts back, and it's gonna be tough again. 6-4-2 for me in the third. On to the 4th race, $16,000 older horses going 6 1/2 furlongs. I just saw a lot of speed in here. I'm going to take the veteran number 2, Twist Grips. A decent third behind Dashing Dawn and Omega Victory. It does say the closers dominated that day with the C with the black background behind it. But Dashing Dawn went pretty much wire to wire. Sat off of the odds are good. Back. And this horse gets Enrique Gonzalez. There appears to be speed in here with the 4, the 5, the 6. And maybe this horse, the 1, maybe will make an early move or something. There could be some action up front, which maybe, I know it's hard to play horses confidently when you need something to transpire on the head end. But I'm going to try Twist Grips. Hopefully it's 6 or 7 to 1. Put the 7-horse Burnham in for second. Pretty impressive win last time at the $8,000 level. He's won up this high in the past. This isn't a big jump for him. He can handle this, and he might get the good trip just in behind the speed. And I put the 5-horse Bluegrass Angus. He's the best horse in the race, but where you been?
Yeah, well, I know. He showed up once in May. He absolutely dusted him. Ran in 16 and 4.
I know he's been training, but obviously there's little issues with him. But
that's the only time we saw him.
He's still a really nice horse, and he's nice to see Jose Sanchez back in the tack for owner trainer Craig McPherson. And I put that one in for third. But once again, those 3 are interchangeable. Bluegrass Angus is definitely the best horse, but I just think maybe. If
he hasn't run in a long time, although that didn't matter last time.
He might be vulnerable,
but
saying. Especially with him being off and with pace, pace pressure. Just gonna maybe gamble the Twist Grips at a good price could give some value to some people. 275.
I went to Bluegrass Angus just because he was so impressive off the last one, and there is some other speed in here, but I don't know if they can go with him, right? I mean, and the odds are good. The main other speed. The main other speed, the odds are good, is to his inside. So if anything, he could sit off of him.
It sounds like Storm's going to go.
He should go too, but he's on his outside. But he could be a 3-horse duel, maybe. But I think Bluegrass Angus, even of the speed horses, I think he is the toughest and the classiest. So I'm putting him on top. Burnham, as you mentioned, I mean, I love Burnham in here just because if that speed duel erupts, Twist Grips is going to come coming, but Burnham's going to have the jump on him because he's going to be.
It's a nice catbird.
Yeah, he's going to be ahead of Twist Grips, and he could get first jump on him. So I got Burnham in second, and I threw in your horse, Mike. You don't have your horse in here. The odds are good.
He disappointed me last
Bet the
time.
odds are good because if Mike doesn't pick him, he's probably going to win. But, well, he's just a consistent type. He's always right there. And he could, you know, as I mentioned, with being on the inside, yeah, he was at 25 last time. But with being on the inside, he could get worn down by Bluegrass Angus. But if not, if those guys don't go crazy, he's going to be tough. He's a fighter. I went 5, 4, and 7 in the fourth. On to the fifth. 4, non-2 for fillies and mares, going 6.5. Field a 9 in here, and I went to the 2, Jaina, for Trainer Barb Heads. Coming out of, you know, some tough, broker made for 16. First time out, it was in a 16, non-3 going long. Came back sprinting, ran in that Tattooed Kitty, a Notice, Coco, a Go-Go race. Those are considerably tougher than the ones that she's lined up with here today. That drip down there, and that was an 8 non-3. Now into a 4 non-2. I like Jaina to win it. I put the 4 Aspired out of the Robbie Anderson barn in for second. Good second last time behind Future Games. That was just a wild west of a race.
That was horrible. Cassidy Finale got killed in the first time in that race. There was like 6 or 7 of them.
That was a massive. Well, Future Games was like 30-1 or something like that. She won. Future Games.
Aspired and Future Games were the only two that didn't get bothered in the race.
Yeah, and Aspired ran a good second at odds of 25-1, but that could give her some confidence. Getting, you know, she's got some breeding. Yeah, she's by remarkable miss. She's got good breeding, so look for her maybe to move forward in here under Dennis Rojo. Put her in for second, and I threw in the 7. Where's My Jenny, who ran third in that last race, and she's just a filly who's been knocking on the door at this level for a long time. Scott Williams rides. I went 2, 4, and 7.
Yeah, I agree with Jaina on the class drop. You know, she doesn't have a really good move to her, but you know, she did break her maiden in 1:20, but that could be the final time of this race.
Yeah.
But Jaina might get a good trip sitting in behind the speed. I put the 7 horse Where's My Jenny in for second. Good third last time. Just didn't get the best of trips, and especially the 6 horse Cassidy Finale. This horse got a brutal trip and was claimed by owner trainer Rennie Lumsden, and this horse is live in here as well. I went 2, 7, and 6. I thought those were your 3 horses. If I put a 4th one in, it'd definitely be your 4 horse Aspired. But 2, 7, 6 for me in Friday night's 5th. On to the 6th race, 6250. Claimers here going 6.5 furlongs. This is for non-winners of 4 lifetime.
Good field.
For non-winners of the season. Or non-winners actually since, what is it, July or something?
July 31st.
I went to 6 Stormy Teen. Good. I thought a better than looked race last time. Battled on the pace. Wasn't fast, but still was going out. Was still battling with
pressure,
with horses, and I just think this horse will get a good trip behind the speed, and you know, behind the 8 and 9 maybe, and might get a good stalking trip. But this horse's better races have been when he's covered up and can run from a little bit off the pace. So I think this one will run a big race. Put the 1 horse Aditya in for second. No, definitely the best horse in the race, but the rail is not. Well, this horse draws outside. This horse runs well, and when he draws inside, this is when sometimes he has to maneuver and work out a trip. But Aditya is your best horse and alive in here as well. And I put the 8 after the conflict. Richard Hamill aboard, and he had his choice of riding a couple of horses. He actually won on Aditya last time. But after the conflict, ran a much improved race. But it was just a couple of weeks back, and see if he's going to fire another good one. I went 6, 1, and 8. I thought Stormy Teen was coming up to a good race.
I did go to the 1, Aditya. I love this horse. I've been all over him all year, and I'm not alone. You look at his races, he's been favored pretty much every time he's ran. He's ran 6 times this year. He's won 3 with a second and 2/3, never off the board. He's on form right now. The rail, as Mike mentioned.
It's hard to get past him.
Yeah, the rail isn't ideal. There's something that beats him. I think it's the rail. But I did put him on top. I put Willing to Travel. Goes back to the Phil Hall barn. They lost this guy, our friend Praven Sorensen, Brian Albertson, those guys. They lost him for 8 to Stevie Bryant. He'd run him an optional 25, which, you know, with Dash and Dawn Square Dancer was not the most ideal spot for him. Came back down last time for 62.50. They claimed him right back over 62.50. Back to a barn that he did well with. I'm going to throw Willing to Travel in there. And I put Fleming's Beach. I like this horse a lot. He's just another consistent type. He only got beat a neck last time behind Maggie's guy at this level. And you know, he can run short, he can run long. The shape of the race should be good. If there is some pace in here, like you mentioned, after the conflict, BC Charlie, even Aditya, if he's forward, look for Fleming's Beach to come running late. I went 1, 3, and 2. All my picks were down on the rail in the 6th race. On to the 7th, 3 and up, 8, non-3, going a mile and a tick. I went to the 6, Mr. Finch, had tough to get by him. Claimed off Anita Bolton for 8, went to a non-to allowance, got dusted, came back in a non-3, 25. Went to the lead, got an easy half that day, mind you, but he did win, an optional 25 over AF Indy Ace of Diamonds. Went into another one. They did not go in 25 that time. Was heavily pressured.
46.
And they fell apart. That's a race that not yet won with an impressive move.
AF Indy went with him at that time.
Yeah, exactly. The time before he set off him and watched him go there in 25, that time they killed each other. And they ran last and second last. But now back in for 8. I mean, it's tough to get by him. He's for an 8 non-3, he fits really well in here. I got Mr. Finch on top of Parsimonious. This is another guy coming out of some awfully tough races. Even that race, for 16, he only got beat a few lengths by Insanowar, Master Ewan, Great Blake. Last time that non-3 allowance with Hanson's victory, absolutely stylish. Spring Alberta, that is a little bit saltier than these. Good drop for him. Scott Williams rides. He's come back to a nice work, 59-1. Parsimonious in second. And I threw a Mustachio for our good friend Rob Maben in the third spot. Been running good races in the 16 non-3s. Getting out of those into an 8 non-3 could be just what he needs. I went 6, 1, and 7.
I have the same 3 horses. Mr. Finch, race to win or lose. If Mr. Finch and Mustachio go a little hot and heavy on the head end, which could happen, the one Parsimonious will have every shot to win. Even Sheriff Clark would have a shot as well. But Mustachio is a nice horse, dropping from 16 non-3, and I put him in for third. He too was, obviously he sprinted last time against Papa, and
that's not
that
his
was
gig.
a 116 flat. That was no chance. But prior to that, he'd been kind of on a pace mission.
Well, he won one of these already.
Yeah.
Remember,
he
he
won
got
by
taken down.
disqualification.
Or he got, he got taken down.
He won it.
Oh no,
he won the race.
He won the race. He got taken down. Yeah.
No, he won. He ended up winning the money.
Oh, that's right, Master Ewan won it. He got moved up.
He
Sorry,
moved
that's
up,
right.
but
That's
the
right.
Mustachio still ran a good race that day, but still the pace was a little slower. But we'll see how that goes between Mr. Finch and Mustachio, and that'll decide who wins the race. But I did go 6, 1, and 7 in the Friday night finale, and that'll do it for our analysis of the final Friday night card at Hastings. Next up on screen will be a quick recap of our selections back in race number 1. I did go to the 1 horse, Blondie. I'm going to go 1, 7, and 2. Race number 2, I went to the 4, Transplant, over the 3, Anzac Day, and the 6, Khakis Command, but those 3 look pretty similar to me. Third race, the 6, Beloved Betty, looks very good. I'm going to go 6, 4, and 2. Race number 4, a bit of a grab bag for me. I went to the 2, Twist Crips, going to go 2, 7, and 5. Race number 5, I went to the 2, Jaina on the class drop, 2, 7, 6 for me in the 5th. 6th race, went to the 6, Stormy Teen over the likely heavy favorite, number 1, Aditya, and put the 8 after the conflict in the mix as well. I went 6, 1, and 8. And then the 7th and final, I went to number 6, Mr. Finch, over the 1, Parsimonious, and the 7, Mustachio.
On to my picks, there we go. Back in the first, I went to the 2, 2E, over the 1 and the 7. In the second, I went to number 6, Khakis Command, over the 4 and the 1. In the third, I agree with Mike. Number 6, Beloved Betty looks awfully tough. That might be a best bet of the day there for me, over the 2 and the 5. In the fourth, I went to the 5, Bluegrass Angus, over the 7 and the 4. In the fifth, I'm back with Mike on number 2, Jaina, over the 4 and the 7. In the sixth, my old buddy, number 1, Aditya, over the 3 and the 2. And in the nightcap, love Mr. 6, Mr. Finch, over the 1 and the 7.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Wish you lots of luck on the Friday night program. Hopefully you cash in some tickets. Once again, we don't race Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Our next live card will be, but we'll keep you busy next weekend, or next week.
Yeah,
we're going to have you Wednesday night. We're going to have you Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Of course, Saturday is BC Derby.
And Thursday night, of course, me and Mike are doing our sales preview here at the Derby. You're welcome to come by and we'll go over the catalog and hopefully point some things out to you if you have any questions. So Wednesday night racing, Thursday night here at the Derby if you want, and then Saturday, Sunday at the races. Monday is the preview out at Thunderbird for the sale, and of course Tuesday is our yearling sale.
And this upcoming Tuesday, actually, there's also a preview at Keenbridge of the North American Thoroughbred horses that are in the sale. That'll be on Tuesday, September the 2nd, so or September the 4th, pardon me. So you're invited to attend there. It's on 230, about 232nd and 0 Avenue. There'll be refreshments.
It's on our website too. You can look at derbybarngrill.com and it's on there.
All the info is on there. Yeah. So it's going to be busy next week, of course, as we head into the actual sale. You're right, on September the 11th.
We've got a lot going on.
We do have a lot going on. We've got Derbies, Oaks, Futurities, Roundel Plate, the Delta Colleen, six stakes races on the Saturday, September the 8th program, as we do just have a kind of a festival here.
A lot of
racing and selling horses as well. But that'll do it for this edition. On behalf of Drew, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Handicapper's Corner.
I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do